Hey, my lovelies. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's daily vibration. It is January 18th, 2020, and we're vibrating on the number 5. So, talk about change, because you know the number 5 vibrates on change, and we're going to talk a lot about that in today's daily vibration. This is the third time that I am attempted to record today's vibration, so hopefully I'm going to go a little slower today so I don't fumble my words. I don't know if Mercury is about to go retrograde, but I kind of feel like my words, I've been fumbling over words a lot today. Mercury, I don't know if you're about to go retrograde. Someone can let me know in the comments field, because usually that's what starts to happen with me personally. Now, let's just talk about a few announcements, my love, before we jump into today's vibration. So first of all, you know that these daily vibrations are uploaded every day at 12:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, not just here on YouTube, but you can also stream from my podcast, okay? If you're tuning in via YouTube, you can find all of the links below in the description box for my podcast. I also want to remind you guys that we go live on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Paid Forward Friday, so you guys can come on in and join us on Fridays where we answer questions from the chat. Not to mention, okay, if you guys are still all about mastering yourselves and learning how to create the reality that you desire to create, okay, and live, right? You can go ahead and sign up for my 13-week Bending Space and Time. This is mastering yourself, learning your emotional triggers, healing yourself, learning how to trust your intuition and create the reality that you desire to live, okay? That is going to be for a donation of $233 for the 13 weeks, okay? You can make the donations in 2 parts, okay? Also, we got 2 more classes, okay? Each class is a donation of $125 each, and they're both 5-week classes. That first class is going to be about how to read your tarot deck, and we're going to be using the original Rider-Waite deck, going through all 78 cards, not just the basic meaning, but also how you can intuitively interpret the cards and using your body as a conduit to interpret the energy, okay? And the last class is going to be how to trust your intuition and speak and communicate to the spiritual realm. This is speaking to your angels, speaking to your guides, speaking to your ancestors, your higher self, tapping into your Akashic records, okay? Both classes, how to read your tarot cards and how to trust your intuition, are both 5 weeks each and $125 for the total of 5 weeks, okay? Now, join us on the new moon meditation on the 24th. We're going to be tapping into some chakra healing energy through a guided meditation, maybe even communicating with some of your guides and your angels within the meditation special. We had one on the full moon on the 10th, so we're doing the second one this month on the new moon, which is the 24th. Donation of $20. You guys can find the information in the description box below for the full moon, the new moon on the 24th. If you're tuning in via the podcast, I will make sure that I include the donation link information verbally at the end of the segment, okay? So today is January 18th, and we are vibrating on the number 5 today, okay? Now, you know how I start off all of my vibrations with intuitive energy, right? So today we're still vibrating on intuitive energy. You know, your intuition is available to you all day, every day. It is your choice, however, if you decide to tap into that, if you decide to follow the hunches, if you decide to pay attention to what it's saying, it is strictly your choice, okay? Now, that does not mean that it's not available to you. It's kind of like gravity, right? That doesn't mean that because you don't know anything about gravity at the age of 4 or 5 means gravity just doesn't exist for you, right? That's the kind of analogy that we're using today, right? I did not want to talk a lot about all the different energies in the atmosphere. So today we're just going to talk about intuition, and we're going to talk about change, right? Intuition and change. The number 5 vibrates on change, okay? That's the one constant thing that we have available to us in this realm is change, okay? Everything changes. Nothing stays the same, except I want to say for universal and unconditional love, because that's everlasting and ever created, right? Creation just keeps happening from love, which is the highest vibration that there is that we can tap into, okay? Like, I know that might sound cliche because a lot of people say it, but can I tell you something real talk? I've been studying energy for a really long time, and that is the truth, okay? The heart chakra, and and I don't have it. I don't have my book in front of me, but a lot of you may not know that I am a professionally trained audio recording engineer. So I went to school, I studied that, spent a lot of money to take all of the courses, the classes, put in the studio time that was required. And my job before doing what I do now on YouTube was working in the music entertainment industry. Okay. I loved my job. I love the people. I love meeting all the artists, met a whole bunch of famous people, wealthy people, you name it. Okay. Kings, queens, senators, so yeah, the who's who of who's who, because I also work for really, I worked for a producer in the industry that had been in the industry for a really long time. So it offered me an opportunity to get to know a different side of life, okay, that gets to know what we may call the who is who, and get to be around that world, okay? And one of the things that I learned with my years of being involved in that world, and I was heavily involved in that world. I traveled, I helped run a very well-known recording studio that's been around for years, okay? So we're talking about maybe back to the early 2000s, maybe. Early 2000s. So the studio has been around for a really long time. All of the major stars still frequent this recording studio. However, that job taught me that it doesn't matter how much status you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how famous you are, right? You are still subject to the same thing that everybody else is subject to. Things change, right? People change. Industry changes, the weather changes, your appetite changes, your taste bud may change, right? The one constant thing that we have in this world is change. So it doesn't matter what walk of life that you've walked, had to walk. It doesn't matter how much money that you have in the bank, right? The one thing that sets us apart, right, as individual and makes us human beings is the change that unfolds in our lives, okay? Now, on the low vibration of the number 5 today, you do have stagnation in the end. You do have fear of change. And I want to talk about these two things, actually these 4 things. Intuitive energy, which we talk about all the time. The change, the energy of change that's in the atmosphere, as well as the lower vibrational energy, the stagnation and the fear of change that's also in the atmosphere, okay? There have been some very powerful energy shifts within the planetary alignments. Okay, we had that powerful transformation between Saturn and Pluto, which brought in that powerful conjunction, which brought in that deeper level of foundational change that we need. Okay, and a lot of that foundational change, because of where the North Node is sitting and where the South Node is sitting, right? And even where Chiron is sitting right now, because Chiron is sitting in Aries, and Aries is all about the I am. So Aries is all about the true essence of who I am or who you are, right? Whoever or whatever I am is to you, that is what Aries is responsible for. Now, if you study anything in metaphysics, okay, even on the basic foundational level of metaphysics, so if you pay attention to any of the YouTube videos when they talk about manifestation, one of the things that they teach you is to be very careful of what words you place after I am. Okay. Now, what they might not tell you is that words per se have vibration and they create sound. Okay. One of the things that I learned while working in the music industry was even going back to school. I learned that each octave, which is a vibration of sound, is responsible for a trigger emotionally or maybe even physically in your body. Okay, so each octave ignites or speak to a particular chakra within your body. Okay, so and there are different triggers that you can get, right, based on the music that you're listening to. Okay, even based on how loud they're playing the music in these commercials. There are even laws of regulations of how loud they can play commercials when you're watching TV. And why is that? Why are there laws and rules and regulations for this, right? Now, that is because the sound and the vibration, right? And we're talking about just the I am position here for a minute. The sound and the vibration that you speak out into existence creates the change to manifest in your life, okay? Now, I was speaking about Chiron being in Aries only because that is where your healing is going to come in. Healing is now happening in your first house, okay? And your first house is your personality. That is who you are, okay? That is your core, okay? That is your makeup of who you are, okay? Now, with that being said, depending on where Chiron in particular lands in your personal chart, you can see healing coming in the space of personal healing, not affected by anyone else's opinion or thoughts about you. Your own personal healing coming forth in whatever area Chiron may lie in your chart. So that's something that you may have to pay attention to. Now, not to get like all astrological on you, okay, the one thing that you do need to understand, if you get nothing away from today's vibration, right? Is that we now have energy in the atmosphere that is here to help support. We are going to have to be diligent in our thinking, diligent in our even our speaking, because words create spells, right? There's a reason why they call it spell in, because every time you spell or create or say or pronounce a word, you are casting a spell, aka you are casting a vibration, okay? And when you cast a vibration, you then put out a frequency into the atmosphere, into the universe, for things to then be attracted, okay? To your vibration. So today I want you to be mindful of change that's happening around you, but also change that's happening in you and change that's happening to you, okay? We spend a lot of times running on the rat race, and, you know, like, and this is one thing I told you. After seeing how all these famous and wealthy people operate, they have days just like we do. Normal days just like we do, okay? Shit is not always a bed of roses, popping bottles of champagne and, you know, rolling out the dough. It's not always like that. They are normal people with everyday life where change is also part of their everyday life. Today is going to have to be a day where you embrace change, where you be more flexible. And I don't remember, we had flexibility earlier this week also. So pay attention to the change that's happening, not just around you today, but also the change that's happening in you and the change that's happening to you, okay? Spend some time reevaluating where you were 6 months ago, where you were 4 months ago, where you were 2 months ago, where you were 1 month ago, where you even were 1 week ago, okay? And if you're really working on yourself, you will see that although the change may not seem huge or major to some of you, you've made significant change within your own internal life, okay? So think about that, you know? Before you used to pop off at the mouth and curse people out, before you even thought about, you know, listening to the whole story, they could have just said one trigger word and they was going down, honey, okay? Now you listen completely, and then you still may pop off at the mouth because you're still in your feelings about some things. But the point is, if you look back then you wouldn't have listened. You would have just popped off with the mouth. This is how you're judging your spiritual growth, okay? So be open to the changes that's happening, not just externally around you, right? But once again, the change that's happening internally inside of you, okay? How are you feeling today? It's really good to take a pulse on your feelings and check how you're feeling. A lot of times, that's how I judge on how, or if I'm going to do videos. There are plenty of times that I get all dressed and sit down at my desk to do videos and nothing comes out. Last week, I spent 3 days like that. Got ready Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think I started recording until last Wednesday, yesterday, because there was just no energy coming through on Monday and on Tuesday. So even within that, I had to embrace the change at that moment. And sometimes because, you know, like me, I have all these things that on my list, and sometimes I can feel like nothing is changing because the day did not go the way that I mapped it out in my head that it should go. But change is forever unfolding, so I want you guys to be aware of that as you're moving through your day today, okay? And I feel like I've said that 4 or 5 times, and anyone that watches my channel, the reason why I do a lot of repetitive and a lot of repeating, because you only gain mastery or change or reprogramming or positive change, let's say that, right? Or focus change, right? Or reprogramming based on 3 things. You're either going to base it on trauma, okay, which we've all lived a lot of trauma in our life, right? Or you're going to base it on symbolisms, and symbolisms is in our day-to-day, all day, every day is happening, okay? And then it's also going to be repetition. So when you hear me repeat things repetitively, it is not by coincidence, okay? I repeat things for a purpose. Okay. All right. So today we're going to start off with my wonderful earth signs. We're going to tap into the earth signs and we're going to see what wisdoms you have for today. We're dealing with chakra work today. Okay. And we're dealing with chakra work because energy is a little bit, I want to say intense in the atmosphere. Now, I spent pretty much all day yesterday in bed. I had to change my whole calendar. Couldn't get out. Okay. All right. So my wonderful Capricorns, today you have throat chakra energy popping up on the board with the Knight of Cups in reverse. So this is just saying pay attention to any unrealistic emotions that you may be having today, any sense of moodiness today. You may want to check your feelings today as you're moving through this energy. Okay. This is also supported by the Moon card today. Okay. And with this being supported by the Moon card, you're also going to have to communicate exactly what you want, but you don't want to project your fears, okay, or have someone else project or accept someone else's projection. All right. Be mindful just not to be unrealistic today. Just speak clearly what you want and see past their fears and illusions today. Okay. Taurus, today you have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Some of you may be ready to recover and move past the bullshit. You also have the Nine of Coins in reverse, okay? So some of you today, Taurus, is going to have to watch your ego versus your will, especially when it comes to your relationship with the emotions that may surface today, because change needs to happen. This Nine of Coins energy, aka the Nine of Pentacles energy, is maybe somebody feel like they've over-invested in something and they're having some type of setback. And this could be a financial setback. Okay, which is now causing you some emotional woes. All right, Virgos, today you have the Five of Cups. Okay, somebody's definitely ready to move on and accept things today, and they may be communicating that. Clarified by the Nine of Wands in reverse, and it could be a little bit of feelings in that. I want to say there could be a little bit of feeling. There could be a little bit in their feelings as the day project, because you may get a sense of maybe even defensive, or maybe even a little bit on the edge of paranoid because of what happened in the past. So just be mindful of that. This could be your energy, Virgo, or the energy that you're interacting with today. Okay, so my wonderful, wonderful Scorpios, today you have the World card popping up. Ow, I love this. Oh, yes. Clarified by the Queen of Cups today. So just pay attention to emotional maturity and codependency. Deal with things emotionally mature today. Okay, get out of your feelings so you can get into your feelings today. That's going to be important today. Today's a day of completion for you and closure today, my wonderful Scorpios. All right. Cancers, you got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, followed by the Ten of Cups in reverse. You may need to keep people out of your business today, my wonderful Cancers, okay? Get out of your feelings today so you can get into your feelings. Something is out of alignment today. This could be in a marriage, but this could also be anyone that's not lining up with the same values or views that you have. This is, this Wheel of Fortune definitely says external forces, negative external forces could be coming in to threaten your Ten of Cups. So if you're in your feelings today, just make sure that you balance out your heart chakra, feel what you feel, right? And then express. But don't be an emotional trigger today is what I'm hearing, Cancers, okay? Don't be emotionally triggered today, and don't become someone else's emotional puppet. And don't even become an emotional puppet to your own insecurities, okay? Pisces, you got the Hermit card in reverse. Somebody's refusing to take a look at themselves and go through that inner working that they need. Also followed by the Chariot card. So this is somebody that lacks direction. This is somebody that's probably a little bit aggressive, okay? And with the Hermit card in reverse, this person could also be isolating themselves and feeling lonely, not really examining it and, you know, looking for the light within themselves, okay? So that could be you or the energy you're interacting with Pisces. Today, Leos, you got the Three of Cups. Some of you could be dealing with a third-party situation today that might be unfolding. Because the King of Cups is coming in, emotional balance and generosity. So if you're dealing with any third-party situation today, you do have the King of Cups energy coming in today, which saying that there may be some emotional balance and emotional control needed in this third-party situation, okay? For some of you, you're not ready to put an end to that. You're not, okay? And just saying, Leos, let's be honest about what it is, right? Sagittarius, today you have the Ten of Cups Ten of Coins popping up, which is a Ten of Pentacles. Some of you are going to be all about your legacy, your inheritance, and your finances today. Some of you, somebody could be getting ready to submit their retirement today. And with this Queen of Wands energy, that's not a bad idea, okay? You've planned for this. This is the time for you to step out of the box and maybe try something different is what I'm hearing, my wonderful Sagittarius, okay? Aries, my loves, you have the Two of Coins popping up today. So balance and order and organization is going to be key for you today, right? As you really pay attention to the choices that you have, this is seeing past the illusions and maybe even the tactics of what might be trying to bring in procrastination as you're traveling through your day, or who may be bringing in procrastination where you're not able to get things done throughout your day, okay? So just be mindful of that. So let me see. 3, Scorpio, Pisces, we got Cancer. I'm just lost my track here. Leos, Sagittarius, and this was Aries. Okay. All right. So now we're moving on to my wonderful Geminis, because I wanted to make sure I did not miss any of you guys. Geminis, you got the Four of Cups popping up here, which is popping up with this green border, which represents heart chakra work. So that's love, that's compassion, that's forgiveness. But with the Four Cups in reverse, this could be feeling maybe like you've lost an opportunity or you've missed an opportunity. And this has to do with when it comes to your Two of Cups moment, when it comes to love or maybe even partnerships. So my wonderful Geminis, today you could be taking a stroll back down memory lane in your thoughts. Someone could pop up in your head, or you could receive some type of maybe a song or movie that something puts you back into remembrance of maybe a love that you may have lost, okay? Now, Libras, today you have the Empress card popping up. With the Empress card popping up, that could also represent codependency on someone, right? Or things not being fruitful, things not being productive. This is clarified by the Five of Wands, and that is probably because there's some tension and some conflict going on. This could be some competition, my wonderful Libras. But you know, we've been talking about this for a while, Libras. This is not a time to bury your head in the sand. This is a time to face whatever comes at you full forge and directly, right? Now, Aquarius, you do have the Four of Swords in reverse, and this is all about maybe feeling restless or burnt out, or maybe that there's no progress, right? This is you, for some of you, this is kind of feeling like right before you get to that place of feeling defeated. Right? This is where you go before you even start to sink into depression. But this is clarified, my wonderful Aquarius, by the Ace of Coins. And it's saying opportunities is here for you. Don't feel burnt out or lack of progress when it comes to your opportunities. You just need to see the progress that is here for you to have. You do have the Four of Wands, which is all about things coming into alignment. This is you being able to celebrate. This is now a community being created. But it really feels like you're going to have to feel this into existence. You're going to have to do the heart chakra work that's required. It may be some forgiveness that's needed. It may be embracing some love. It could also mean being compassionate, not with others, but more with yourself, okay? And with others where it's needed, okay? You may not be able to see that, but this Four of Wands, she has a lot of butterflies around her, which represents transformation. So you are going through a transformation portion of the day. Okay, your transformation will be in small portions of today, my wonderful Aquarius. All right. Okay, so I know I spent maybe about 10 minutes talking about change and following your intuition, and change being the one constant thing, and like I repeated that like a million times, right? So if you can keep in your mind that change is the one constant thing that's promised to us, right? And if change is the one constant thing that's promised to us, and you get a choice in how you want things to change for you, for the better or for the worse, would you not like to participate in that, right? So be mindful that we're constantly in a place where we can be open to utilize our intuition, as well as embrace change and co-create the change that's needed in our lives. And that may require doing some work. That may require taking some steps. That may require giving up some stuff. I'm telling y'all, okay? So on the new moon fast, I am going to be doing new moon fast. On the new moon meditation, I am going to be doing a 21-day fast for anyone that wants to join me. This is not going to be something that you would need to make a donation for. We're just going to be chatting it up and communicating throughout. We go through throughout the 21 days, okay? Now, I am going to talk about that fast a little bit more in the new moon meditation. However, I am going to talk about it all week, so you guys can be prepared and still join and be a part of it if you like, okay? So keep in mind, the daily vibrations are uploaded every day at 12:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, not just on YouTube, but also on my podcast, so you guys can stream me from any major podcasters. And you can find me on my podcast the same way that you find me on YouTube. It is by the number 4, Your Inner Voice, okay? Don't forget, also, we go live on Friday nights. Paid Forward Fridays happens every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the exception of this Friday coming up on the 24th, because we'll be doing the new moon meditation, okay? Don't forget about the classes, my love. Okay, if you're tuning in via YouTube, you can check out the description box. If you're tuning in via my podcast, the 13-week Mastering Yourself class is going to be for a donation of $233. How to read your tarot cards using your intuition and your body as a conduit is going to be for a donation of $125 for 5 weeks, okay? And last but not least, how to trust your intuition and speak to your angels, your guides, and your ancestors, you guys, that is going to be for 5 weeks, and that's also for a donation of $125, okay? So you can make your donations via PayPal, which is the number 4, Your Inner Voice at gmail.com. Once again, PayPal is the number 4, Your Inner Voice at gmail.com. The same email address for my PayPal is the same email address that you can use to email me if you have questions about the classes, okay? The number 4, Your Inner Voice at gmail.com is my PayPal, as well as my email address, okay? If you want to use Cash App for your donations, you can do that by $KIMOY106, okay? Once again, my Cash App is KIMOY106, all right? Okay, my lovely. So we're going to see you guys on Friday, for those of you that are doing the new moon meditation with us. And if you're not joining us next Friday on the 24th, you can join us on the 31st, okay, of January, wrapping up the month. That would be a lovely way to wrap up the month, hanging with you guys on Fridays, okay? So be mindful to embrace the change that's happening in your life today. So pay attention to the change that's happening around you, as well as the change that's happening in you and the change that's happening through you, okay? That is very, very important. Be sure to make sure that you love yourself. Make sure that you be kind to yourself. Do something kind for yourself and drink plenty of water. And I will see you guys in your next daily vibrations tomorrow. Bye, my loves.